Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to my brothers and sisters on this amazing webinar in different parts of the globe. I want to take this special moment to welcome our own brother Jeffrey Moloch. Brother, we want to thank you so much for accepting our invitation. This means a lot to us. You know, you have been in this country, this company for quite some time. And we want to say we love you so much. Thank you so much. Again, at this moment, we are going to proceed. I want to introduce our host for this afternoon. Happy Sunday to each and everyone. Now, you guys know this man called Engineer Michael. Engineer Michael has been in this company, within this company for quite some time. Engineer Michael, when he joined OnPassive, he went to the back office and studied everything, all the products. Guess what? If you ask him any product, Engineer Michael will tell you. Engineer Michael has taught us. He went to the back office and taught us, even though I came here before him. He knows everything. That's what I know. Guess what? You know why? Because yesterday at Julie and Malo, a lot of people asked him questions and this man was just answering, just like that. I couldn't believe it. But Engineer Michael, I respect you. Engineer Michael, come along, please, and proceed.
Wow.
Welcome.
Dr. Benny. Welcome, everybody. Welcome our special guest, our big bro, Mr. Jeffrey Moloch. Dr. Benny, sometimes when you introduce me, I think I'm just in the sky, right? In Burj Khalifa already. So thank you very much for all those good words. All our regular people who come here and the guests for today, thank you very much. So today we'll be having a very special webinar, and we'll be talking about something very special. You know, when our CEO comes all the time, excuse me, he brings some words to us, and those words we want to break it down to all of us. Now, the ones that we'll be talking today, we'll be talking about blockchain technology, what it is all about. He told us about blockchain technology, and we said, let's just bring it on to all of us. Let's learn it to see what it is all about. Blockchain technology, that's what we'll be talking about today. Okay, everybody. So, with that being said, my name is Michael Ojongtambia. I'm a petroleum engineer. I'm also a system reliability engineer. I work in the IT field. I started my career as a Linux system administrator, but I got good at what I was doing, and I was promoted to a system reliability engineer now. It's still the same job, but this one entails a little bit of administrative, okay? So I'm also, excuse me, a Red Hat certified Linux system admin who I'm certified, so I'm an instructor as well. I teach that online. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I joined OnPassive on November the 17th of 2020, like Dr. Benny just told you people. So let's go into what our topic is all about today. We're talking about blockchain technology. So what it is, the definition. So blockchain is a shared immutable ledger that facilitates the process of record transactions and tracking assets in a business network. What does all this mean? It just means blockchain. Or what is a ledger? That ledger is just some business transaction records. That's all it means, okay? So it is a system to track down the business transaction records. That's all. What you bought, for how many days did you sell it, things like that. That's a ledger, okay? Now, an asset can be tangible, which can be a house, can be a car, it can be cash, it can be land, or intangible intellectual property, parents, copyrights, and branding. Now, virtually anything of value can be tracked and traded on a blockchain network, reducing risks and cutting costs for all involved. So if you people remember, every time when our CEO comes out, he brings a statement. This statement has been going on for a long time. That is the correction to corruption. Do you people know that if we have a blockchain system, this blockchain system will be recording everything. We have records of everything, what is going out, when the timestamp is very important. When did it go out and all of that? Can you people imagine? That's the correction to the corruption. So no corrupt person can be in this kind of mindset and be in this kind of a business. So we are bringing that straight onto passive, that we are the correction to the corruption by what we are doing, by what our CEO is bringing to us all the time. Who can beat that? Nobody. We are the correction to the corruption, because it will have all the, if somebody comes and say, oh no, I donated $10 for this cause and all of that, they can trace it all the time. When the timestamp, very important, when you put it in and where did it go to. So our system, the blockchain system, will be tracking every transaction. That is what is all about. Being the correction to the corruption. Now, why is blockchain technology very important? Oops. Let's look at it. So business run on information. The faster it receives and more accurate it is, the better. Blockchain is ideal for delivering that information because it provides immediate, shared, and completely transparent information stored on an immutable ledger that can be accessed only by permissioned network members. So let's take our enterprise or our business on passive. Are we shared? Let's look at it to see, are we shared permission network members? Yes, we are, because we are founders. So everything that we do on that system can be traced. It can be tracked using the blockchain system. So remember, you have permission to go to your back office and check whatever you want to check. When the time we have our own wallet in our back office, that will be a different ball game, right? You will not ever want to let somebody know that about your password. And that will be the time Dr. Benny used to tell you people a lot. Our CEO used to tell us as well, that is the time you need to be changing your password every 30 days, every 90 days, when those apples start dropping. And it is very soon. So this can be traced all in your back office, keeping that timestamp, very important timestamp, when this transaction took place and where did it go to. They can trace everything because we have that ledger system in the blockchain management. Is that important? Yes, it is very important for us. Are we some permission network members? Yes, we are. But you can't go there without the sign on, right? You need to sign on. So if somebody doesn't have your sign on, they can't have anything to do with your finances or with your platform, except you give them access. Do we have access? Yes, because we are permission members. We are permission network members because we are part of the business, us founders. Now, a blockchain network can track orders, payments, accounts, production, and much more. Do you hear that? It can track orders, it can track payments, it can track accounts, it can track production and more. Is that something we should be delighted about? Yes. That is what? Correction to the corruption. And what is it again? It is that for you saying that I am secure with whatever thing I am doing in my OnPassive platform. So this is the time that people should be happy. I used to hear people say, how safe will I be in my in OnPassive environment? How safe will it be for my data and all of that? These are the solutions that we are bringing. Our CEO is talking about blockchain now, which should be something very important. Okay. And because members share a single view of the truth, you can see all details of a transaction end to end, giving you a greater confidence, as well as new efficiency and opportunities. That is what blockchain is bringing into us, members, okay, and founders of OnPassive. Now we have three key elements of a blockchain, okay? One of these is distributed ledger technology. The other one is immutable records, and the other one is a smart contract. Let's go and see one of them each. We're starting with the first one that says distributed ledger technology. What it is? All network participants have access to their distributed ledger and its immutable records of transactions. So is this something that we should be excited about? Yes. Now, all of us that are members of OnPassive, let's take it, the organization OnPassive, we are here. Now, will we have access to all of our transactions? Isn't that something? Remember, again, if you go to your back office, when you pay, okay, you will have an email will come, it will send you a receipt. So all of these things are being tracked, okay? They are being tracked by this system. Now, with this shared ledger, transactions are recorded only once, eliminating the duplication of efforts that typically of a traditional business network. You know, sometimes because this thing is one of the things that are automated, okay? So it eliminates a lot of errors. You know, when we are writing ledgers, we are typing and putting all that information, we can make a lot of errors. But since our systems will be completely automated, right? Our systems, you know, OnPassive will be completely automated. And if they incorporate the blockchain systems in it, we'll be fine because will reduce human errors, and also it will reduce duplication, okay? Now, immutable records. No participant can change or tamper with a transaction after it's been recorded to the shared ledger. If a transaction record includes an error, a new transaction must be added to reverse the error, and both transactions are then visible. So this is clear. If you made an error, you type in and you create an error of whatever transaction you were doing, what happens is you need to create another transaction to fix that error, then both of them will be recorded. So the one that is an error will be recorded as an error, and the one that we go through will be recorded as completed, and you will see it right there. Wow, this is something. Now, the second one is the smart contracts. What are they? So, to speed transactions, a set of rules called a smart contract is stored on the blockchain and executed automatically. Now, a smart contract can define conditions for corporate bond transfers, include terms for travel insurance, to be paid, and much more. Remember, most people that do contracts, they have something they call the government bonds and things like that. That's how they operate. So these smart contracts is that technology that will be recording all of that information automatically, because it is included in the blockchain. It's one of the blockchain elements. Okay. Now, how does blockchain work? As each transaction occurs, it is recorded as a block of data. Those transactions show the movement of an asset that can be tangible, a product, or intangible, intellectual. So if we are coming to our own platform, do we have any of these? Yes, we have a lot of them. We have products, 50 and above. And we'll be having some physical products again. So we have digital products and we have physical products. So is this applied to our platform? Yes. So our CEO, Mr. Mufara, is bringing all of these to our systems for more security, more clarity, more sophisticated but very easy transactions to be recorded so that people can verify them when things happen. Okay. So if you don't need to go to support for anything, I mean, if this is incorporated in our back office, you will just go there, you will see your records. Is that something we should be excited about? Yes, it's still more security, more security in our systems. Now, the data block can record the information of your choice: who, what, when, and where, how much, and even the conditions such as the temperature of a food shipment. Wow. So all of us, I mean, when I was going through like preparing these slides, so when I got to this, I'm like, wow. So it means basically everything. The blockchain will register, record basically everything that is happening. Is that important for us? Yes, it's very important, because those are the things that people need to know in a platform when you join it, right? Now, the next one is each block is connected to the ones before and after it. These blocks form a chain of data as an asset moves from place to place or ownership changes hands. The blocks confirm the exact time and sequence of transaction, and the blocks link securely together to prevent any block from being altered or a block being inserted between two existing blocks. So you hear that? The blocks are separated. Okay? They are separated. No block can go in between another block. So it is like, it is block, 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 block. If you remember, when I started this presentation, I had a block, there's some blocks that are going round, connected together. So you cannot bring any other block to put it in the already existing blocks. That's all we're trying to say here. You can confuse them. Now, transactions are blocked together in an irreversible chain, a blockchain. So each additional block strengthens the verification of the previous block, and hence the entire blockchain. So the blocks are categorized like first, second, third, and all of that in a chain, right? So the next, let's say block A will verify block B, will be able to verify block A, and block C will be able to verify block B, just like that. That's how it is. That's what this is telling us about. This renders the blockchain tamper evidence, delivering the key strength of immutability. This removes the possibility of tampering by a malicious actor and builds a ledger of transactions you and other network members can trust. That is the trust, right? Our CEO have used billions of dollars to build us a platform, and he wants us to trust it, and he wants everybody that is coming, like how do you call it? Customers should trust our platform. So they are bringing this insight to incorporate it for another layer of security and trust. People will trust our business. Okay. Oops. Now, benefits of blockchain. Let's see them. So what needs to change? Operations often waste efforts on duplicate record keeping and third-party validation, right? Record keeping systems can be vulnerable to fraud and cyber attacks. Yes, we know that. Remember, Dr. Benny they did a presentation with our other big sister, Ms. Brittany Campsey, some months ago. They brought us the data security. If you have not watched that video, it should be on Friday Night Live. You can take your time and you check on it. The video is there. You can learn a lot about this security that they're talking, fraud and cyber attacks. They told us the various hackers that you have. I'd learned about white hat, blue hat, and black hat. Is that how it is, Dr. B? I can't remember. Was it white hat, black hat, and blue hat? Is that?
White, black, and gray.
Okay, white, black, and gray. Thank you. I can't even remember that. That's why I don't know. You see my life? I don't know, like you, Dr. B. You are teaching me a lot. Okay. So, where was I? I just went passed by. Okay, I was here. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. B, for that. So limited transparency can slow data verifications, and with the arrival of IoT, Internet of Things, transactions volumes have exploded. So one day we will have Dr. Benny to present us what is Internet of Things, and we will know what Internet of Things is all about. And we are seeing it connected to our blockchain. Okay, so she will do a presentation for us. Okay, all of this slows business, drains the bottom line, and means we need to better ways. Okay, enter blockchain. So blockchain is the answer for all these malpractices, corruption, and all of that. So we are the correction to the corruption. Now, benefits of blockchain. Another one is greater trust. The first one, we're seeing now the benefits. Is it the second benefits? What's it? Okay, no, this, yeah, the first benefit we're talking about is greater trust, okay? So with blockchain, as a member of a members-only network, you can rest assured that you are receiving accurate and timely data, and that your confidentiality or your confidential blockchain records will be shared only with network members to whom you have specifically granted access. So this can be like a shared folder, right? We call it in the IT world, we say, for instance, there is something that we call a collaborative directory, okay? That collaborative directory, what does it mean? Let me say I have my big bro, Mr. Jeffrey Morlock, I have Dr. Benny, I have Amadine Jacotin, I have our big brother, Roger Wanji. All of us are working in a directory, which is called, let's say, /account, okay? For instance, let's call it that way. So everybody, excuse me, will have permissions. All of us that are working on that directory, we have permissions to be able to access that directory, which is called /account. So every time you come there, if let's say Eunice Coco Chanel from Adeline, she just come to access that directory, she will not have an access. It will kick her out. She will not be able to access it. So this is talking and telling us that if we have that collaborative directory, it can be shared with that information. So any person that is among us that are called, that we're working on that directory. Only us, we have an access to that directory so that we can check it to see what is inside the directory. If Eunice Coco Chanel decide, oh, I must see this directory, no, she can't have an access because she is not a permission member on that directory. So we call it a collaborative directory, right? Thank you. Next, greater security. Consensus on data occurrency is required from all network members, and all validated transactions are immutable because they are recorded permanently. No one, not even a system administrator, can delete transactions. So in the IT world, this is one of the jobs that I started with, like a Linux system administrator, right? So remember, I'm talking about still that Active Directory, or that, collaborative directory that all of us have access to. So, but in the sense of the blockchain management, no Linux system admin or just a Windows system administrator can go into that file and delete any information. So, which means that every other person information is secured, and we can track down everything that is happening in that blockchain environment. It is very important. That is what it's telling us. Now, the next one is more efficiencies. So with a distributed ledger that is shared among members of a network, time-wasting record reconciliations are eliminated. Now, to speed transactions, a set of rules called a smart contract can be stored on the blockchain and executed automatically. So most of these transactions that happen in the blockchain environment are automated. So, and they are recorded directly, right? So they are recorded automatically when you do it. So this is another layer of security that OnPassive is bringing into our systems or our platform. Excuse me. I was a little bit under the cold some days ago. Sorry about that. We have 4 types of blockchain networks. The first one is a public blockchain network. The second is a private blockchain network. The third is a permission blockchain network and a consortium blockchain network. So let's see. What's the public one? A public blockchain is one that anyone can join and participate in, such as Bitcoin. Now, drawbacks might include substantial computational power required, little or no privacy for transactions, and weak security. These are important considerations for enterprise use case of blockchain. So we are an enterprise. We are OnPassive. If we want to use blockchain, so we will not have a public blockchain network. If you remember, there were some, if you read around, you will see that some of these Bitcoin companies or these cryptocurrency companies, they have lost a lot of money because I think they were using the public blockchain networks because it has less security and less privacy. Okay, the public one. So we have the one that says this one is the private blockchain network. So a private blockchain network, similar to a public blockchain network, is a decentralized peer-to-peer network. However, one organization governs the network, controlling who is allowed to participate, execute a consensus protocol, and maintain the shared ledger. Depending on the use case, these can significantly boost trust and confidence between participants. A private blockchain can be run behind a corporate firewall and even be hosted on premises. So when we say on premises, it's on premise, okay? It can be hosted in so many different places behind the firewall. If you people remember, there was one day we had some Friday Night Live. drew how the firewall was, and some zone, we call it a demilitarized zone. So if this is coming and we see our cooperation and the way our CEO used to always talk about what is called about security, I am sure that we are going in for the private one, because we don't want no people to come. Only authorized people will be come. And remember, if we are going to have our own data center, that is somewhere that we can be hosting of our own stuff, and that will be more security for us. Can you beat that? I'm not sure. Now, we have the other one that is called permission blockchain networks. So businesses who set up a private blockchain will generally set up a permission blockchain, blockchain network. It is important to note that public blockchain networks can also be permissioned. This places restrictions on who is allowed to participate in the network and what transactions. Participants need to obtain an invitation or permission to join. And this can also be something that our enterprise can be looking at, our CEO can be looking at. You know, he has all the founders in his heart as one. So most probably he will be having something like this, because he always protect us, you know, security and all of that. So we'll be getting it surely a permission blockchain network, right? That you will have permission to join the blockchain. Not just everybody can join, right? From the public. Oh, I can see Amadine nodding her head. Oh, did that make some sense to you, Amadine? Yeah, okay. Okay, we're talking about a consortium blockchains now. Multiple organizations can share the responsibilities of maintaining a blockchain. These pre-selected organizations determine who may submit transactions or access their data. A consortium blockchain is ideal for business when all participants need to be permissioned and have a shared responsibility for the blockchain. So let's say something. Now, if this is all of the securities that is coming to our platform, remember, this is something that we can monetize too, right? By us saying, or the way we always say, our CEO will always want us to get the best. So basically, if we are talking, we are coming down to the consortium blockchain, which will make other organizations to come and use our platform because it will be very secure. So that can be another revenue source of income to us. Oh my. Wow. When I was reading about this, then I'm like, okay, let me think for a minute. So it says you can have pre-selected organizations, multiple of them, they can come together and say, okay, this is the platform that we want to use because it has all of these, right? The features that we have. What a big deal. Blockchain it is. What is blockchain security? Let's talk about it. Blockchain security is a comprehensive risk management system for a blockchain network using cybersecurity frameworks, assurance services, and best practice to reduce risk against attacks and fraud. Attacks and fraud. Listen again. Let me read it again. It says blockchain security is a comprehensive risk management system for a blockchain network using cybersecurity frameworks, assurance services, and best practice to reduce risks against attack and fraud. That is what blockchain security is all about. Is that something we should be as excited about it? Yes, because if coming to our website or coming to our platform, it will be incorporated into our system and we will have much more security and fraud correction to the corruption. That is a word. Wow. Is that a big deal? Yes, because we are coming to the world very, very soon. The world will embrace us. What are we coming with? These are the things we are bringing to the world. It is very different from every other thing that you have out there already. So all of us on passengers, this is something we should be very excited about. Very, very excited. Learning it. When our CEO comes there, he doesn't give us just a penny. He will want to give us billions at once. And that is what he's getting into. Wow, value. Do you know the value of $97? This is more than, I don't know. I get excited all the time when I read all of these things. And I mean, the value of $97. Oh my God. My God. Okay, now let's see this blockchain security. Let's talk about it a little bit more. The blockchain technology. So blockchain technology produces a structure of data with inherent security qualities. Now, it's based on principles of cryptography, okay, decentralization and consensus, which ensure trust in transactions. In most blockchains or distributed ledger technology, DLT, the data is structured into blocks, and each block contains a transaction or bundle of transactions. Each new block connects to all the blocks before it in a cryptography chain in such a way that it's nearly impossible to tamper with. Security. All transactions within the block are validated and agreed upon by a consensus mechanism, ensuring that each transaction is true and correct. So you cannot just come to a blockchain system, you want to do some fraud, okay, you have to pay some fees. For instance, let's say a fee for a transaction, let's say for $30. Then you want to go and falsify it. To falsify it to be that, no, you are owing about $5. That's not possible because there is blockchain security. You can't do that. Wow. Okay, now again, we say blockchain technology enables decentralization through the participation of members across a distributed network. There is no single point of failure, and a single user cannot change the record of transactions. Never. Correction to corruption. You cannot. You cannot. When it has that timestamp and the transaction has gone through the blockchain system, you can modify it. You can falsify it. Never. Okay. However, blockchain technologies differ in some critical security aspects. Now, when building an enterprise blockchain application, it's important to consider security at all layers of the technology stack and how to manage governance and permissions for their network. A comprehensive security strategy for an enterprise blockchain solution includes using traditional security controls and technology unique controls. Now, some of the security controls are controls specific to enterprise blockchain solutions include, let's see some of them. These are them. The first one is, we want to talk about the identity and access management, which is very important. Key management, very important. Data privacy, very, very unique. Secure communication, smart contract security, and transaction endorsement. Let's just learn a little bit more about each of them and see what that is all about, right? Now, employ experts to help you design a compliant and secure solutions and help you achieve your business goals. Look for a production grade platform for building blockchain solutions that can be deployed in the technology environment of your choosing, okay? Whether that it's on-premise or your preferred cloud vendor. Wow, that is what we want to talk about blockchain. So I just want to show you guys what, excuse me, we have. I had my my research on Passive website, and thanks to my company, I work with IBM. So one of my companies I work with is IBM. We have a lot of some of this on our website. You can get that information about blockchain. So from IBM.com. I just want, before I finish, let's go to our new website so that people can see how greasy it is. Is that a word? I don't know, Dr. Benny. You can help me, big bro. I don't know. So we even lack adjectives sometimes to describe what our CEO, Mr. Ajmufare, does for us, right? So sometimes you look at, you don't even have a match for the adjective to use, right? So if we go to onpassive.com right now, let's see it. Wow. And remember, it is on link number 52 in your back office, everybody. You go to link, just look at it. This is our new website. Remember, when you come, you want to see on the blogs, those are new. We have a disclaimer, okay? You need to read on those disclaimers and know what it is all about, but we already know what it is all about, right? Look at how sweet, and look at the graphics. Do you know how long it can take to produce one of these graphics? Because it's imagination, right? So we have this team in Hyderabad. Oh my goodness, with our genius CEO, they are doing it for us. So look at the ledgers. You see, we were talking about ledgers in blockchain. If you look at up here, it tells you about the ledgers. So we can go and read it. If you want to know more about artificial intelligence and machine learning, this is a spot for it. You can click on it and go. If you want to talk about our products, this is our products. Remember, in OnPassive, we are so proud of what we have, our products. Number one, the market that we'll be having, 8 billion people all around the globe. And what again, we are very pocket friendly, the price. And all of this is found in one space, single sign-on, and you get all of this. Oh my goodness. Now you go to the blog, all of these are new careers. You go to the blog, we have another new feature. Which was that again? We have another new feature. Got the blogs. Okay, so go to our products. We have another new products now. Yeah, I remember. You go to the blogs, you can go down and read it. See how smooth and clean this website is. Oh my. Wow. See, things just pop up as you go up and down. If you go to, let me go back here. If you go back here, go to the products, you will see that they have added some more products that we were not seeing them before. You see? If you go through, you will see there was no old booking before. Remember, we did not have old booking. We'll have old booking now. Oh my goodness. We have so many products, people. Let's go. More products. Wow. Okay. So thank you, everybody. I just want to stop sharing, and I want to thank everybody for listening to this. I don't know which is mind-blowing about what is mind-blowing about this blockchain. I know our big brother, Jeffrey Moloch, when he comes here to tell us about this thing, we will die from him today. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm so delighted and excited to bring this out to you. Thank you, Dr. Benny. Over to you, ma'am.
All right. I want to take this special moment to really congratulate you. Excellent presentation about the blockchain. And there's something that you talk about, which I am excited. Blockchain security It's a comprehensive risk management framework. As you guys know, I work in the department of the risk management. We do have FISMA, which is the Federal Information Security Modernization Act of 2014. Then when it comes to the risk management framework, it is like a system development life cycle. And then you talked about the controls. I am so excited. Thank you so much. Yes, risk management framework, we all utilize it within the federal government. And I know that we are also going to utilize it here within OnPassive, as well as other governmental institution, financial institution, and educational, as well as health, in the health field as well. Yes, thank you so much, Engineer Michael. So at this moment, I'm gonna ask some few questions, but we have some people that will ask questions to our guest for today.
Dr. Benny, please, let's go with the question first before any hands up, okay? Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Lawrence, could you please wait for a minute? Let me, question number one, hold on, please. Olga.
Hello. Yes, hello everybody. Thank you, Dr. Benny. Thank you, Engineer Mike, for this brilliant presentation. Je n'ai pas tout compris, hein, mais I know that is excellent, an excellent thing. Sorry. My name is Olga P. I'm a Cameroonian and living in Belgium. I'm a founder since November 2020. Exactly, hein, 2020. Okay, sorry for my English. Okay, Brother Jeffrey Morlock, it is a pleasure to have you here and to speak to you. Thank you for coming and share for us. I have two questions. First of all, who is Jeffrey Morlock? And the second one, your journey to OnPassive till today. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. I certainly appreciate these questions. You know, you don't have people ask you those very often, but I certainly appreciate that. I guess I could go with the first one, you know, who am I? You know, I don't know who I am sometimes, but I'm just a guy that's happily married, you know, for more than 35 years. And I have 3 kids that are grown and out on their own. And I guess relevant to this conversation, I started a personal journey about 4 years ago. I retired. I stopped working out in the world, and I started staying at home and taking care of the dogs and family and cooking for the wife and just loving life at the leisure. About 6 months after that, I heard of and joined OnPassive, and OnPassive at that point was exactly what I was looking for. It is exactly what I had put out into my conscious space. It's exactly what I decreed that would come to me and that I would become a part of, which is very interesting. A lot of people look at that and they go, well, how do you even know something like that? I'm like, well, it takes meditation and just understanding things and just being patient and peaceful and loving and that sort of thing. So anyway, that's how I got started with OnPassive. I'm also a bit of an author, and I like to write little things. So that kind of moved right in with what I do in OnPassive, because before OnPassive, I wrote some books that were, most of them were, biblically or religiously based, just because I liked writing and liked expanding ideas and just helping people and educating people. And when I joined OnPassive, I took that want to educate and that love of writing, and I started to document what I was learning about on Passive. Quite frankly, I thought it was too good to be true. I was a cynic, a very good cynic. Well, no, not a cynic. I was a skeptic. I was skeptical. And the difference being a skeptic is open to ideas and you can probably sway them one way or the other. A cynic, they're staunch, and no matter what you tell them, they're not going to change your mind. I was a skeptic. So I started writing everything down. And then about 2 or 3 weeks after I started that, I actually joined GoFounders, paid the $97 to get in. I continued writing. That writing turned into the ebook. So that's how it all got started and how I actually started reaching out. I started to provide that ebook before anybody knew about it. I was on on Facebook, and I would start sending that saying, hey, yeah, I'm a founder on Passive, and this is what I know, and this is how you can understand it. So I started sending that ebook to people, and that somehow kind of got up the chain, and it got some of the leaders' attention and Mr. Farr's attention, and well, the rest is history, so to speak. But as far as who I am and what I do, you know what? I'm no more special than anybody sitting on this platform or anybody that's on Passive. Flat out, plain and simple, we are all unique. We all bring something to the party, so to speak, and we all are significant in what we're doing, especially when we learn to follow our passion and do what makes us feel good and follow that, because that will be your North Star. Now, there's 3 things that actually help me do that. I mean, the first one is I love to teach and to educate, and I love to share with people. So that's kind of a no-brainer. With On Passive, that's used to its full capacity. The second thing is I'm totally sold out on Passive. I mean, there is no company on the planet like On Passive, and there is nothing bad you can say about it. And everything is just in your face, on top of the world, so to speak. You know, we are the top. And the third thing, I guess, is because I totally believe in On Passive's CEO, On Passive's technology, and On Passive's mission. So that's why I do what I do. Not to mention the fact that, like everything else On Passive does, On Passive makes it easy to do what I'm doing. So I'm loving life, and this is what I'm doing, and sharing it with you guys is just part and parcel with who I am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So cute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sister Judy. Unmute. Unmute yourself, please.
I can't get unmuted. There we go.
Sorry.
Okay. Hi, Engineer Mike, Sister Benny, or Dr. Benny, sorry, and Jeffrey Mock and everybody, Murlock and everybody else that's on here. I'm Judy Reese from Saskatchewan, Canada. I've been with Founders on Passive since July 2021. That's why I'm stumbling and stammering. It's okay. So, Jeffrey, how do you feel serving On Passivians, like what you've done writing our On Passive ebook?
Well, Judy, I love that question. I'm telling you. I thank you for that. That I got goosebumps just thinking about how you're going to answer something like that. And it's really, really easy. I love what I'm doing. And I love the fact that people enjoy the answers that I can provide. They enjoy sharing and the collaboration that we have. I've never met in my life a group of people like I've met with the people that I've met inside of On Passive, or the people that are running On Passive. You know, I mean, right straight down from Mr. Ash Mufara from the top all the way down to the techs and the folks, the engineers and the people that are just part of On Passive. They are a spectacular, phenomenal group of people. We are truly a heart-led community, and that is what it's all about. It's reaching that higher consciousness, you know, that brings us to a place where we're not thinking about ourselves as much as we are thinking about those that are out and around and in our worlds and circulating us or revolving around us in our universe, so to speak. So I love it. I love doing that. I love doing this. I love interacting with people like this. I mean, I see people, I could start pointing out people here that I know by name that I've talked to before. And where else are you ever going to find that? Now, as far as the ebook, like I said, and it's not a feather in my cap that I started that as a rebuttal, thinking, no, this is too good to be true. So I had to really delineate what I was learning to get a good grasp of what OnPassive was. But it turned into such a beautiful, beautiful helping resource, a helping tool for so many people. And then, when we started getting help in the translations of that, I remember the first ebook that I put out, and that Mr. Mufara, I remember having conversations with him where he was like, well, what do you think, where do you think this is going to go? And how about if I take and he likes fancy, he likes to pretty things up. So he took my ebook and he put a lot of real nice graphics in it. And I was like on top of heaven, right? So then people started asking about, well, can we get it in Hindi? Can we get it in Spanish? Can we get it in German? So I started doing all the translations. So I think the first 15 or 20 translations I did hours and hours and hours and hours. Then Mr. Mufara took it and he took the whole thing and redid it again. He loves doing that. He'll take the projects that he's got and he redoes them and we put them back out. I mean, that's happened 7 times with Go Founders before it happened to move into O Founders. And he does that with all the products. That's just, that's part of the innovation lab mentality, where you put something out, you see if it works. When it doesn't work, you tweak it and you put it back out, and then it comes back, you tweak it some more, you feature it some more, you do some more stuff and you put it back out. And that's how you progress. That's how you grow. That's how OnPassive has become, if you will, or in a metaphor, an assembly line, where we flipped the switch on that assembly line in 2018. And we set a core set of values on the assembly line. And as it went down the assembly line, we started adding things to it, right? We started adding text from India, and they added Go Founders. And then from Go Founders, we added a few products. And then from a few products, we added marketing. And then from the marketing and the products, we added more products. And then we turned into this great big thing going down the, I just lost it. The conveyor belt, the line. So, and that's how we progress and that's how we grow. When he took the ebook again and made it bigger and better and put more graphics in it, then there was a lot of folks that stepped up, and I wasn't doing the translations myself. So, I mean, I loved it because it brought people together. It educated them. It taught us more about OnPassive. It gave us a larger realization of who we were, because that ebook has everything to expand you out. Because we're not just this product or that product. We're now something very, very big. And with the ebook, you can see that. And it's been shared so many, 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 many times. And I've gotten so many messages saying, gee, this has really helped me. There's people always saying, this is how I got started in it. I looked at the ebook and that really got me going. So, man, I'm loving your question, because that ebook is just what we're about. That ebook brought a lot of us together, and it brought a lot more people into OnPassive, simply because they now understand that not only are we now a massive marketing IT AI giant, but we're a massive consciousness for good, for global good, for the greater good, for lifting humanity. And that's the part and parcel of the mission that we're all on, and we're in it and on it as a community and as a community effort. So God bless you. Thank you, Judy, excuse me. I appreciate that question. I hope I answered it without going crazy on you.
You are a born teacher. You are a born teacher. Thank you.
All right. I believe I'm next. Get ready.
I was just thinking, I should probably,
Sorry. When our CEO announced the use of the 21st century technology concept, like innovative labs, blockchain, how does that take us into the new era?
Well, this one's going to take about 20 minutes. We got that much time. Oh, man. Oh, thank you, Dr. Benny. Boy, that's a loaded question that has got so many different avenues. it's very appropriate because on passive, just like your question, has got a lot of different ways that you could go and we could look at it. Now, if we start with innovation labs, man alive, that's part and parcel where all the creativity, right? These are spaces that harbor the creators. Engineer Mike, you can certainly attest that the folks working in those spaces, those are the techs and the developers. Those are the engineers. Those are the inventors of tomorrow's technology. So it makes, I've got goosebumps over your question, Dr. Benny, because I'll tell you, that is exactly where OnPassive belongs. It belongs in a lab just like that, and many of them, because we are taking what we know and we're taking Mr. Mufara's mindset, his mentality that says there are no stops. If we can conceive it, we can believe it, we can achieve it. And he's taking that into the laboratory, and it is that development of productivity. It is the development process I explained a little bit ago that is going to put that lab into coherence with all of its members and come out with top tech inventions, mind-blowing things that when these very, very smart out-of-the-box thinkers get together, they come up with things that you only dream about. And probably some of their ideas come at night when they go to sleep and they dream these really, I have dreams like that. And I'm telling you, wake up, you get excited. Man, I dreamt this sort of thing and it was so vivid and colorful and it gives you ideas. And this is the stuff that dreams are made of, just like OnPassive. So when we start talking about innovation labs, and not just one, but a lot, those are the things that the future technology is coming out of. Those are things, future inventions, physical products are coming out with, right? Same thing with the digital ecosystem we've got. There are going to be ways that they're going to take that AI and they're going to tweak it and they're going to twist it and they're going to fit it into something else, and then into that marketing piece where it fits, it's going to make that marketing act differently, and they're going to go, whoa, we didn't expect that. They're going to get so many great things. If you guys are not excited about what is happening with OnPassive, you need to understand where we are and what we're doing and all of the things that we're talking about. That's why I love this question. Now, when you talk about moving forward into the 21st century, another big part of that is his interest and his bringing out, as it were, of our data centers. That is absolutely huge, because once we're into those data centers, now we have an incubation platform, so to speak, to test and to run a lot of this digital technology they're going to be coming up with. They've got a place now where they are in control, we are in control. There's no third party saying what we can do and what we cannot do. There's no third party in there putting governors on our gateways that are doing anything at all remotely bad for us, because it's all about what we want to do and what's good for us, good for the company, and good for the customer. So moving those forward, and when you start thinking about that and some of these other technologies that have come out, I mean, you think about it. We are so firmly implanted, and a part of the economy and the technologies of today's world. When you think about some of the great technologies that have come out recently, this millennium, you're talking about big data analytics. I mean, that fits squarely right smack dab and smell. It reeks of AI, right? And machine learning. Think about accessibility, interconnectivity with the Internet of Things.
Yes.
Oh, man alive. Sensor networks. I mean, we talked about OTracker. We talked about these location-based services, right? Man alive. I'm telling you what, RFID is everywhere. You know, you track your phones, you track your kids, track your dog, track your tractor, you know, whatever you want to do, you can do it. AI, obviously, we're head over heels in love with AI and robotics. You talked about, Mike, you talked about blockchain just a little bit ago. Man alive. I'll get into that one in just a second. Mobile digital platforms. I mean, everything's going mobile. You're not going to be able to get away from it. That is the future. Cloud computing, right? We're in it. Everything I've mentioned so far, the social networks, that's huge. That's new. That's new. This is this millennium technology stuff, right? And that's for business and social, obviously, both of them. You're talking virtual and even augmented reality technology. I mean, I'll guarantee you, Ash is working on it. He's coming out with it, right? 3D printing, he's already talked about that. 5G, I'm not a big fan of 5G, but the implications for transmission rates and stuff like that with, whoo, baby, I mean, this stuff's just blowing us up. And we can see through all of the things OnPassive has reached in the last 90 days. We have ramped up. Mr. Mufara talked about us ramping up. He said, we're going to ramp up production. We're going to ramp up the products. We're moving forward. Look at what we're doing. You just mentioned one of them a little bit ago. Hey, look at this brand new onpassive.com website. Look at the functionality of it. Look at the beauty and the freshness of the graphics. Look at the simplicity and the ease of use. Oh, by the way, check out Ohost, Odesk, all the new things in there, right? Bam. I mean, man alive, we are moving forward. So life is good. And I say all that to say this, that since the beginning of this millennium, right? We passed into 2020, or I mean, the new millennium, the year 2000, 22 years ago. Think of all the things that have happened. And we've seen everything from social media and smartphones to self-driving cars. And I mean, they're using pilotless drones and aircraft all over the place. And there's just so many things, you know, you're going to have flying cars before too long. I mean, seriously, there's been huge technological leaps in energy storage. OnPassive is into that. I mean, wow. Artificial intelligence, we're into that. Science, it's medical sciences. I will guarantee you well, I'm not even going to spoil the surprise, but I'll guarantee you that Mr. Mufara is working on those types of things too. The technology is out there, it's available. And if it's available, he's going to be able to improve on it because he's going to have the wherewithal, the resource, the drive, and everything to do that. So, man, what else? I mean, we've mapped the human genome, right? Wow. Grappling with gene editing, the biotechnologies is expanding. It's just going crazy. And I know that Mr. Mufara, especially going where we are going into the future, using this 21st century technology, so to speak, is working with many different types of these technologies. He's doing that now, and moving forward, you can believe, because of his mindset, because of his resources, and because of the fact that he just believes if we want to do it, we can do it. Then he's going to be even developing these things as we go forward in our own labs with our own techs, our own engineers, our own developers, our own inventors. I mean, the man's an inventor and got stuff. We've already got products that are ready to rock and roll, that in his own words are absolutely life-changing, that everybody, 8 billion people on the planet, need this. And that's just one of them. So going forward, oh, we could not be in a better place. We could not have a better company, and we could not have a better CEO that says, look, we're going to do it for you. It's done for you. This is where we're going. This is what we want to do. This is where we want to go. And all you have to do is get on board, get active, put your heart out there in front of you, do what's best for everybody involved instead of just ourselves, and rock and roll this thing with us, because you don't have to worry about it. You can jump on our backs, and we're going to create for you a company that will give you 90% of what you get without doing the work. And the other 10% that you provide is just having the right attitude and doing what's right because it's right, because we want to create for the world a decentralized wealth machine that will lift humanity and bring everybody up. And you know, the great thing about this is he's literally leaving no, well, maybe not literally, metaphorically, he's not leaving a single stone unturned. And he said that before. This brings us to his newest, when he blew me out of the water. We knew he was going to do blockchain, right? We knew it, but he never said, bam, as of, yes, we're doing, now he has. Last week, he came out and said, yeah, we're doing blockchain. You bet we are. Now, a little bit about blockchain, and your Mike, man, I loved what you did. And I'm big, you know me, when I got pictures and I can read, and I'm getting it visually as well as hearing it. That's the kind of learner I am. I put the two of them together and I get them better. But you know, the big deal about blockchain is in its security and in its traceability, right? This was talked about, man, how many years ago? In the 90s. That's how far back this actually goes. At academic levels, you know, Dr. Benny, university level dissertations, that sort of thing. That was done about what they called the chain. Now, that was as early as the 90s. Now, it was brought into view, brought out and put a spotlight on in a way by an academic article that was published, I believe in 2008 by, you know this name, Satoshi Nakamoto. I mean, everybody credits this man with creating Bitcoin. And let me tell you something, in 2008, when this paper came out, people really got a buzz. And I mean, it exploded, right? Yeah, we know him and we know his methods as the Bitcoin guy, right? Well, accordingly, the chain, as it was at the time, became blockchain because as a natural part of its evolution, the people and the powers that be that were using this thing and transmitting it said, gee, this is really kind of slow. We need to speed the process up. So we need to compress it somewhat. So they said, hey, instead of taking 1 million individual links in that chain, let's take 500,000 links and put it in a box, put the next 500. So now you're linking the blocks of information. That's how it became blockchain. So it's absolutely, but anyway, so it was a lot quicker. And that's just kind of the big deal about it, though, was this was the first important application that will, and you're going to love this, Mike, securely exchange money without a central bank. Because now we're talking, ooh, we got security and decentralization. Pow! Two things that go wonderful together like peanut butter and jelly, right? I mean, life is really getting good. So think about this. Think about a traceability system that has nothing to do with an authority. It's got nothing to do with, say, a centralized bank or a regulation, all right, or a global data provider. This is something you can do, and you can do, and you can do, and I can do, and we can do. And we don't have to get nobody's permission. We don't have to use anybody's system, right? That's the beauty of blockchain. It's a traceability system where we assign a very unique identity to each of the products, right? And then we transmit that data, which is revealed by whatever identity that is, into thin air, over space, right? Over the internet, right? And everybody who reaches this identity or gets a hold of it, right? This contract, if you will, the information that we forwarded, you know, that we've sent out over the internet, all the data presented there in that is secure. It is unalterable. It is transparent. It is distributed, and boom, you're gonna love this, Michael, it's unhackable. Nobody knows how, you can't hack it and change it, and you can't do any. So it's like, man, that's a holy grail of security, right? Well, nowadays, there's lots and lots of applications that are being built using the unchallengeable. You called it, the word you used was immutable. The immutable aspect of blockchain, right? The robustness of blockchain is being used in a lot of different applications. And you talked about some of those, you know, we're talking about contracts. I mean, imagine people that want to go buy a car and now they can do a contract that pulls the money out via blockchain and nobody, it's secure. You know, same thing with realty, same thing with anything, any kind of a ledger, right? It's unique that, man, all the data, everything that is in there is there for life. I mean, if somebody changes one aspect, it creates another fork, or it's a record that you can't lose. And I love the way that you pointed out when you say if you take 3 blocks on that blockchain, the block to the left is linked to the block on the right. And so the block to the right of that one is linked to the block on the left. So you can't take or alter or change or do anything with one without affecting. Beautiful. I mean, that's crazy, right? Anyway, I'll kind of drill this down, that the technology behind all of the crypto, right? The Bitcoin, the Litecoin, the Ethereum, it's all right. That's the blockchain behind that. And it's finding its ways, as you had alluded to earlier, Mike, it's finding its ways into a lot of other applications. And those applications are the ones that are ledgerable. They are records or transactions that need to be secure and unalterable. That's the beauty of what they're doing. And that could be almost anything. I mean, if you can imagine it, you can put blockchain in there with it. Now, it's being wrapped around and it's becoming fundamental to those, right? To those processes that need that ledger security in a way. Now, blockchain is a brand new class of information technology which on passive is also using. That's right up there with Internet of Things and RFID chips and all that stuff. It's a new technology. It's a digital new technology, and we're using it in all sorts of many things, right? It's based on cryptography and distributed ledger. So when you put the two of those together, that's where you get the security and the unhackability, because it's crypto. It is encrypted. I guess that's the right word. Encrypted in such a way that you can't change it or do anything with it. So life is pretty good, right? And so the model of that, right, that exists within blockchain is being through, or it's used through, or manipulated by like a group of computers that collaborate and they maintain that secure database. And long story short, you can't screw with it, right? And when you get with OnPassive, if you think about who OnPassive is and where we're going with all this, including blockchain, right? We're a huge blockchain is digital ecosystem with massive digital marketing, right? Have numerous innovation labs, got lots of data centers in the works, all sorts of products, getting our fingers into everything that you could possibly think of. And now he's introducing blockchain into this. Man, I'm telling you, he has found another way to just reach into his bag of tricks, or maybe into the new technologies, which he loves, and using that to provide value to the world, value to the founders, and obviously value to OnPassive. And that's what it's all about, creating value, and creating value through the safety and security, which is OnPassive, right? And we all do that through the single sign-on. So, I mean, he's got it. Holes. I'm going to stop right there, because that was probably a mouthful, and I know I get on my soapbox, but you're right, Dr. Benny, this is exciting stuff.
Thank you so much for the answer. We really appreciate you, and we know that you will come back here. Queen Naka, you're next.
Thank you, Mama Africa. Thank you. Wow, Jeffrey Moloch. Wow, I'm so thrilled, and your excitement is contagious. Really, really. Anytime I listen to his video or I watch it, I can see the passion to OnPassive and the excitement, and it's very contagious. Thank you, Jeffrey, for what you do for us, and the trust you put in OnPassive. We really get it, and it makes us more excited. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Engineer Mike, for your presentation. Wonderful. I was just waiting for this subject to come. Thank you, all the leaders. Thank you so much. So my question, where do you see us OnPassivians in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now? Thank you.
Wow. Well, we're already at the top of the world, so I have to say we're going to be in space. I mean, there's nowhere to go but up, right? I mean, what else are we going to do? Wow, that globally, I mean, we're already in almost every culture in the world. OnPassive is the up and coming IT AI giant, period. We're already unicorn before we've even launched. We're already into more technologies, developing more technologies, developing our own technologies, and developing the wherewithal to further develop those technologies than any company on the planet. Flat out, plain and simple. The beauty of OnPassive, aside from all of that, right? I mean, that's one thing about OnPassive. So the other thing about OnPassive is what drives us, and that's the heart of Mr. Mufar. That's the understanding that we're in it to win it, to lift humanity. And we're not focused on passive per se, becoming all that it's becoming. We are focused on lifting up humanity and lifting the human condition and uniting and connecting and raising consciousness around the globe. Now, to do that, Mr. Mufara understands that's what you focus on. And he has said, hey, we're not worried about making money. We're not based on profit. We're not based on anything like that. We're based on doing what's right because it's right and what's good for the greater good, right? And we all know, and let me put it this way, if anybody does prayer or meditation or thinks more of others than they do themselves, then you're very aware that higher consciousness has operating within it some very subtle energies. Prayer is one of them. You know, those types of energies, your emotion and your thinking and stuff like that, that is electromagnetic, that goes out and it attracts what you put out, you know. And Mr. Mufara knows this. This is why he says, look, we're not dealing with the negativity. We don't want negativity. We, you know, it's there and it exists, but we don't need to focus on it, because when we don't focus on the good stuff and you focus on the negative, guess what you bring back? More negative. It's like, no, we don't want to do that. So where are we going to be in 3, 4, 5 years? We're going to be bigger, badder, stronger, redder, faster, sweeter than we are now. He's going to continue to develop the technologies. He's going to continue with inventions. He's going to continue to expand on passive out into other regions, other territories, other technologies. Wherever there is good to be done for the cause of humanity, Mr. Mufara, I am sure, is already looking at a lot of those and saying, wow, once we get to a certain space, then we're going to be able to branch out into that space. A big step for that is the Inno Labs that he's come up with and the data centers, because having those particular entities, those resources at our disposal, those open up so many other things around the world that we can then have more control over. Because early on, you probably heard him say, you know, when we were back in Calcutta back in 2018, and he had that handful of techs that he hired from a company who was going to lay him off. I mean, that starts to tell you where his heart is. He went to the company and said, look, instead of laying them off and putting them out of work, how about if I just take them over? I'm going to hire them for a new company. And that's how On Passive started. Now, that first group of people, the first thing they came out with, obviously, was Go Founders. But that's how we started. And that's the heart of it all, is if you look over the last 3 years, what we started with and where we've gone, and you can map a trajectory. And you know, I use a 45-degree angle. And I said, that's where On Passive is headed. We've been, man, you know, his learning curve has had to have been pretty steep over the last 3 years. You've seen changes in the man. If you look at 2018, 2019 videos, and you look at those videos today, you're like, wow, he's really changed. He's changed not only in appearance, but in mentality and in the way he speaks, in the way he addresses. We've all changed. On Passive has changed. That's what it is. That's the world. It is a changing world. And we are in a very exciting time to be alive. And On Passive is riding that quest that, you know, back to the ebook. It's called, I remember when I first got a hold of this and wrote that ebook and named it The Paradigm Shift That Is On Passive, because it was massive. He was going to take and change the entire paradigm of online marketing. Then once he got a good grip on what he was doing with On Passive, and he went out and he actually studied a dozen different business plans, came up with his own business plan, he now changes the paradigm of business. So not only online marketing, but now there's a new business plan that says, you know what, we've got heart. We're going to do what's right because it's right. We're not in it to make money. We're not in it to get what we can at the cost of somebody else. And this is the new paradigm. And people that can't understand that and can't think that highly and can't think of others before themselves do not get, cannot get, will not participate in On Passive. So that's why we say, look, share it with people. If they get it, they get it. That means their consciousness is high enough where they're hearing the message and they get what our vision is. And if they don't get it, that's fine. That's probably not, a founder position is probably not the best for them. So they'll make a very good customer. But where are we going? Well, the word domination comes to mind in a good sense, in that we're going to dominate the internet. We're going to dominate the IT world. We're going to dominate the AI world. We're going to dominate everything that we go into at some point. And I don't mean to be cocky or overbearing about it, but I'm confident, just like Mr. Mufara is, that we're going to be extending out into the world globally. That's the plan. And that's, it's not, it is no accident. It is by design that we landed at the top office in the world in Dubai, because that is the center. And easily a lot of folks, wealthy, power broking people, come and go in Dubai from all over the world. And everything that we're doing there emanates to the rest of the world. So that's just the first step in our growth. I mean, when you look at what we've got going on, I expect him to be possibly, in Madrid before too long. We're certainly in Singapore. I know he's working in Bangladesh. We're obviously in India. We're in the US. As far as physical assets and, offices go, I would expect him at some point to be in Ireland. But wherever he shows up, he's going to show up, and we're going to show up. And the beauty of what we're doing and the beauty of what is pushing this whole dynamic is the founder community and the founder consciousness and the founders who have a heart for lifting humanity, just like the On Passive Vision says. So where are we going to be in 3 or 4 or 5 years? Man, it's like he says, get ready for the best shape of your lives. Get ready. Get ready. Start thinking now about what you're going to do, because the whole point of On Passive for the founders is to make sure that we have enough so that we're not worried about the drudgeries of life, and we're not worried about, etching out a living. We're going to have more than we need. You're going to have some for a rainy day, but you're going to have enough where you can go to the neighbor. You can go down the street. You can go to your town or your community. You can go to your state or even your country and say, hey, I've got some extra money. Where am I going to put it? And then you got Old Blast right behind that. And now you can reach globally with your financial support to countless, very, very worthy causes that will, again, reflect a lifting of humanity. So where are we going to go? We're going straight up. We're going into space. We are going into the record books. We are going into any place and every place the human heart can go. Man, I'm telling you what, you guys have no idea. You are in such a good spot right now, not only personally, but in the position where you will be able to help so many people in so many ways in the coming years that it's just going to blow your mind. You're going to be sitting back one day and you're just going to be thanking God. You're going to be thanking the universe and thanking Mr. Mufara, or however your heart displays gratefulness. You're going to be living in gratefulness, and you're going to be understanding what it means to live the life you were supposed to live before all these powers and entities and others got involved and stripped us down and pushed us down at cost to us to raise themselves up. You're going to learn firsthand what it is to raise those around you, and in turn you raise with them. That's where we're going. We're a benevolent company. We're a conscious company. We're one for the greater good, of what's going on with the planet as well as the people. And that's where we're going to go 3 to 5 years from now. You guys are going to be sitting pretty. You're going to be known by the world. The community of founders is going to be elites within the world, and they're all going to be known for the heart that they have, because their heart is one for the greater good of the world. I hope that wasn't too much.
Thank you so much. Very satisfied.
Stop. All right. Queen Coco, you are next. Proceed, please.
Yeah. Hello to all the great leaders here. Engineer Mike, great presentation. Jeffrey Morlock, we are delighted to have you here. It's such a privilege, and we are very grateful to have you among us. We all saw what happened in Dubai and the Burj Khalifa. My question to you is, what's the effect of the compounding marketing, not only in that whole Gulf area, but also in the entire world? Thank you.
Oh, you are very welcome. That's a good question. You know, Mr. Mufara talked about compounding in one of his webinars. Now, since you mentioned Dubai, one of the things I love about the whole Dubai experience is that when you're looking at the extravagant shows that are going on at the Khalifa, the Burj, you see 10, 15,000 people all over down. Well, sometimes you don't because the camera's above them, but sometimes the camera goes down and shows you. I mean, the streets are just packed with people, and people are taking selfies and pictures of themselves, and they're doing it with the Burj in the background. And what do you see on the Burj? On passive, all founders, first ever, rule the internet. We are great. We're on the way, right? All that stuff. These people, thousands and thousands of them, are on their cell phones and on their media devices, sending pictures all over the world. That's the first real tangible example of compounding, where he went and instead of spending lots of money in thousands of places, he spent one lump of money in one place and let everybody there send it out to thousands and thousands of places, which is, you couldn't get better publicity than that. That is the top city in the world as far as where they're going and the money spent there and the accessibility globally and that sort of thing. Now, on a larger level, when we talk about compounding, when we take, and I'll use an example that I'm sure that the text can appreciate, that Mr. Mufara used, so I think it's probably a good one. When he's creating these websites, and every week we're getting another on passive.com, and then he creates the link for us to that. And eventually where we're going to be seeing new websites every day. I believe that what he's doing is keeping every website that they ever create, the AI is running behind the background, behind the scenes, so to speak, for everything that because he doesn't throw anything away. Yesterday's website is archived somewhere, and they don't just let it dry up and blow away either. I mean, they'll use it. And I think what he's doing is taking the AI, it's running through the core of all these, mixing and matching, and it's coming up with brand new websites. But I mean, it's just smart, and the AI grows and it learns every day. So that's another way he's using his technologies. He's compounding them by building onto them, building onto them, refeaturing them, right? Giving it higher and enhanced performances, tweaking them, and putting other ones together without ever getting rid of or letting something go by the wayside. So when you talk about compounding, you're talking about the compound of effort, the compound of technology, the compound of global interaction between communities and between OnPassive and the rest of the world. And everything that every effort that's put out is manipulated and added to and joined with in a way to give us greater value and meaning for what we're doing. And that's just a big snowball that's continually rolling down the hill, if you like that kind of a metaphor, that's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And even though we don't normally see what's inside that snowball, we only see what's on the outside, it's still in there supporting everything on the outside. And that's the compounding effect. And that's why that's part of the brilliance that I love about Mr. Mufara, is he's always thinking farther out than probably most of us are. And that's what gives him this competitive edge toward marketing and what makes him so good at it. And compounding is just part of who he is, and he understands the value of it. I hope that helped.
Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you. Queen Coco, are you satisfied with the answer? You are?
Sure.
Ah,
Very much so. Thank you.
thank you so much. I appreciate your question. The next will be Queen Amadine.
Hello, thank you everyone. Thank you, Engineer Mike. Thank you, Dr. Benny, for this wonderful, amazing webinar. Yes, Engineer Mike, I learned a whole lot today from you, and I'm hoping I can get the video so I can go over it again, and make sure I really get it. Yeah, thank you so much. And Jeffrey, wow. What a what a leader you've been. What an Pacifian. You were one of the first videos that I listened to, and there were just certain things in there that really told me, hey, this is the group you need to be following, you need to be with. And, I remember that, your entry point, hello. I mean, you cannot miss that. And then, and then at the end of the meeting, you would say, do not, you would say something like, if you change your.
That's when I was asking.
Right. Well, yes, you just say things that when you say, even if you can join my team, if you're not, go back to the person who referred you. And even if you don't join me, I wish you blessings upon blessings, your whole family. So yes, I love your style. Okay, I learned a lot from you. And we actually do host a show, Dr. Derek and I, we do host a show on 2 shows on Tuesday night and Thursday night. I would love to have you present for us one of these days.
I love being invited. I mean, Armin Dean, that's the thing, if people invite me, I generally show up.
You are invited today, okay? And you can pick the Tuesday or the Thursday that you prefer. Okay, it's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll get in touch.
Good, yeah, please do. If you can work with Mike and just let Mike send me whatever you want, and we'll do it.
Thank you so much. So my question for you today, Jeffrey, is that our CEO, he says we'll be branded as founders. Please, what does that mean for a lay person?
Oh man, I allude to that a little bit in single sign-on, but when we say we're being branded, what we're actually saying is that OnPassive is not when they go out and they do marketing from OnPassive corporate, right? When they go out and they do advertising, instead of doing the advertising for OnPassive as OnPassive, instead of saying to the world, hey, we are OnPassive, look how great we are, and go to these people's organizations and these people's websites and these domains and look at these people's products because we're OnPassive and we got a bunch of them. They don't do that at all. When we open up to the public and when we actually log on and create our websites, create our businesses individually, the marketing that you're going to see, the branding that you're going to see is going to be for you. So if you have a site that's called ArminDeanLovesTheWorld.com, every bit of the marketing is going to point to you and to your website and to what's on your website. Not any, you won't even see OnPassive. So ArminDeanLovesTheWorld.com is going to be you. It's going to be your brand. When people go to your website, you are what they are looking for. OnPassive is not even mentioned in the millions and millions and millions of marketing campaigns they're going to be doing eventually, because each one of us are going to be marketed. You will hardly ever hear about OnPassive. And one of the beautiful things about that, and I think Mr. Mufara has talked about it, is that when you have 500 million domains, websites, all being marketed and branded to themselves that are selling not only their businesses, but resellers for On Passive. If for whatever reason somebody tries to shut down, there's no way they can shut us down because it's not one thing. They can't go to On Passive and say, you know, we're going to shut you down because there's a 500 million of us out there and they're all being marketed and they're all doing, it's impossible. So it's a strategy, but it's a very good strategy in that it's building for you. It's done for you. It's not done for On Passive, even though it's kind of like, you know, when you put the foundation in to build a home, you don't ever really see the foundation. You see the home and you can go in it and you can check out the rooms and you can even go up and sit on the roof if you want to. With On Passive's our foundation, but nobody really is going to see it. What they're going to see is our house all over that foundation. So when he talks about branding you or not branding On Passive, that's what he means. That means he's branding JeffMorlock.com or he's branding Dr. Betty or Benny.com or anybody else, right? Knockup.com. You are the one being touted. You are the one being expressed, and you are the one that is having people brought to you through their marketing, which is all done for you. I mean, it's not just they're going to send out to, you know, the world a global campaign saying, go visit your site. They're also going to be tracking where that goes. They're going to target it. So maybe you're selling little heart-shaped stuffed dolls, right? And that's what you want to sell. They're targeting people for you in your branding that want little heart-shaped dolls. In my case, maybe I've got a widget that'll climb the wall or do something weird. They're going to target people that want my widget. Dr. Benny may have a course in electronics or crypto or something. They're going to target people that want that course from her site. They're branding you and what you've got. And it's all individual. It's done for you. And not only are they targeting those people, when they respond, they're going to respond back to them probably 6 or 7 or 8 times until they eventually buy one of those little heart-shaped dolls, right? And once they do, they're going to go back and say, hey, did you like us? Come check us out. You can join this too. Go join under Armin Dean because you went to her website, and anybody that joins from your website is now in your network. Now, anything they buy, you're going to get a piece of. On top of that, in branding you, they will also put on your network, on your websites for you, if you allow them, if you buy into it, if that is something that you like. Hundreds and hundreds of other things that people can opt into. And as soon as they do, you get a piece of it. So this is not small. This is huge, huge, huge. And so when you're branded personally, it is another form of compounding in that the value is going up because now there's 500 million of us that are all out there being marketed by On Passive, but being branded for ourselves. And it's absolutely phenomenal that a company will do that. I know of no other company that has or will or has even proposed to do such a thing. And it's just part of the genius that brought Mr. Mufara up to where he is. I hope that helps.
That's perfect, Jeffrey. As an additional follow-up question to that, does that make me the CEO of that business that he creates for us?
You are not only the CEO, you're the owner. You own your own business.
Correct.
It's yours, and it will pay you. And they got the wallets to put your money in. And they'll track it all for you. That's what we mean when we say done for you, because not only are they going to put out the marketing and draw customers that want what you're selling, once they buy it, they're going to take the money, drop the money into your account and go back after it and get more people. But it's your company. They're branding you as your company owner. You are the CEO, you're the CFO, you're the worker, you're the queen bee, you're the all in all. You own your own company and they market you. They work for you.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Hey, Amadine, are you satisfied?
Totally, Dr. Benny.
Thank you so much, Brother Jeffrey.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you. My next brother will be Brother Rogers. Please ask your question.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, Dr. B, for giving me the floor. Engineer Mark Ojongtambia, what have you done to we? Wow, wow. Thank for all those who spoke before me. I don't know how to call you, Jeffrey, Doctor, Engineer. I don't know, Professor Jeffrey Marlowe.
Jeffrey's good.
Yes. Let me take Jeffrey. Let me follow your instruction. I am a fan of the sky is the limit. Because every time I listen to your video, YouTube, I understand that the sky is the limit. Like Ash Mufara like to say sometimes. You were saying that we are going to thank God. No, I'm doing it already. I thank Him every day because I pray. And I know that I've updated the size of my back where the apple will be falling to. And coming from the third world, the developing world, my question is, when I hear about lifting humanity, the first thought that comes in mind is, oh bless. Please, sir, how will the developing country benefit from all bless? Thank you, sir.
Man, I can tell this is gonna be a good one because I got goosebumps all over. All right. Oh bless. What first of all, Oh bless is a crowdfunding platform where every single penny goes to whatever cause is supported by that platform, by whoever supports it and uses it, period. Not one dime, not one red cent will go to OnPassive. OnPassive does not make any money from it at all. As a matter of fact, it costs them to administer the program, which Ash is more than happy to do because he understands it is a benevolent program and it's working toward fulfilling the mission to lift humanity that OnPassive has. Now, having said that, you've got a very good question, and I'm going to kind of try to make sure that I understand it. And if I do, just give me a nod and then I'll just kind of go, right? But my understanding is you're saying, hey, Jeffrey, you're over there in America and you guys got it kind of good. I'm over here in a third world country and we're looking for some really neat things to happen. How is that going to happen? And how can bless help us? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, bam. We're on the same page because I'll tell you, without being political, I believe that third world nations and second world nations are only labeled like that because their abilities to be third world nations were taken from them by whatever powers that be a long time ago.
You are right.
Now I'm going to leave that alone because I could get very political with that right now. I mean, we got some serious needs in some serious places, you know, and we look at third world countries as those places that need the most need. And this is what I love about Obless is because Obless is not bound by politics or strategy or global separations, countries. It's not, there are no borders with Obless. So to the degree that need is, or to the degree that help is needed, Obless can reach that degree. I have no doubt in my mind that the amount of help that will come out of Obless for those people in need, Africa, I'll use Africa. Man, I mean, Africa's been stepped on for a lot of years, and there's a lot of need in Africa. And I would more than guess that these places with need commensurate with the types of lifestyles that are there will be met with oh bless, simply because there are people with hearts that see that there's a need. And because of that, they say, let me do my part. What can I do? And by the millions, you're going to have people that open an oh bless account. They're going to run it through OnPassive. And this is another beautiful thing about OnPassive, is that OnPassive will validate, right? They will verify the cause for oh bless. In other words, if I try to sneak a cause that says Jeffrey needs a new limousine into oh bless, they're going to go, ain't happening. But they'll verify the cause. And there are so many verifiable causes, needs in your countries, in those countries, that there's going to be a lot of help, a lot. I know myself personally, I am waiting for oh bless, and I am waiting for that day that I can open and activate these accounts, even those that Chris talks about in Michigan, for homeless, for water, world water, for energy, putting wells and water resources where we need them, for building villages or building homes or putting in infrastructures. I mean, there is no limit when it comes to oh bless. You are limited, maybe I should say, only by your imagination. If you can think it and you can develop a plan for it, you can put it in oh bless. And then when you have, I mean, right now it's only 1.3 million people that are founders. When we're sitting at 500 million resellers or customers or people that have access to oh bless, and some of these founders say, hey, I've got this project over in New Guinea, or I've got it in Ghana, or I've got it in Africa, or I've got it somewhere, and this is what we want to do. And then now you've got, I mean, think about it. If you've got, I don't know, 50 million founders, and each one of them only puts $1 a month, that's $50 million a month for that one project. And you may not get that. You may only get 100,000 a month, but that's a lot of money for one project, right? And when you have hundreds of projects going on in that area, in that geographic location, like what you're talking about, that could really add up. And that is an influx of financial resources that will build the infrastructure up and build it at the root level, because you're not just going to jump in there like a government and throw $5 billion at something and hope it works. You're going to be building it up from individuality, from, say, if you've got a project in your community and you say, we need to have a well dug that'll provide, 200,000 gallons a day of water, who will help us in this community? And you could set that same oh bless up for every community anywhere around you, and it would be funded. And before too long, every bit of that is going toward the fulfillment of that community. Now, when you've got that water and you've got the water you need, and you're not wasting 6 hours a day walking 3 miles back and 3 miles back, carrying 2 gallons or whatever it is. And again, this is just an example. That frees you up to build a better life, to do other things, to do more things. Same thing with anything, building your homes, building communities, bringing in infrastructure, laying down roads. Engineer Mike, you know about that. I mean, anything you could think of, the power of OnPassive to administrate the product of oh bless through millions of benevolent, like-minded founders is world changing. That one product is world changing. It is community changing at a grassroots level. It starts by changing one family, and then it changes the community, and it grows like that. So you are sitting in a very, very good place. If I were you, I would probably be thinking a year from now, what projects do I want to start that are going to have the biggest impact on lifting the humanity around me in my community? And when you come up with that project, you can reach out to somebody you know in the next community and say, look, this is what I did. This is what's working. You do the same thing for your community, and that would spread like wildfire. And that's how we lift it up. One family at a time, one community at a time. I hope
I have a lot of projects. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Brother Rogers, are you satisfied?
At the top.
All right. Our last but not the least, Queen Nadu. Are you ready? Come along, please.
Thank you, Mrs. Unpassive. And I like the great presentation of Engineer Mike. Oh, Jeffrey, you are such a catalyzer. I don't know what we will do without you. I have a question, but before that, I will say, when I have a house and I have the key to the house, to be secure, I need to have key for all the rooms. So when the thief, the robber comes in, maybe he will not get to all the rooms. But lately, we are hearing about something. One key is enough. I'm going to talk about the single sign-on system. Can you tell me the benefits? That's my question.
Boy, can I tell you the benefits. That has been a hot topic, Nadu. I'm telling you that the last 3 days, I don't remember any dreams, but it wouldn't be surprising to me if I was dreaming SSO, because that's what you're talking about, the single sign-on. That was a hot topic Friday afternoon, Friday evening with Lynn Nakamoto on Friday Night Live. That was a hot topic with Tech Pros on Saturday morning. And then again, that afternoon with Kenya, and then that evening and that afternoon with Julie and Milo. Yes. Oh boy, can I tell you? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Boy, oh boy, where do I start with that one? I'm going to start right at the beginning, right? And thank you, Nadu. I appreciate that, because that today is really going to kind of close my whole thing up, because I actually put a video out about SSO, and that in my mind was kind of solidifying, okay, it's a topic that's been discussed and talked about, and now we're going to kind of solidify it with a video, and I'm going to move on next week. But this is great. SSO is absolutely wonderful. It's not brand new. Single sign-on is just, it's another way to provide value for the whole world. And a lot of people are doing it. But we know Mr. Mufara, right? I mean, that guy provides value like nobody's business. So we know that all the businesses around the world, whether they're digital or whether they're otherwise or whatever, they are moving things and assets to the cloud. They're moving their business strategies and such, and how they actually manipulate their the way that they do business by taking advantage of third-party players that give us this access, this seamless access to so many things from so many places, because that's what we want, right? We want what we want it now, and we want it using the device we've got in our hand. And if we happen to put that device down and walk in the other room, then we want it on the computer we're sitting at. And that's part of the whole single sign-on thing. But for on passive, as you, again, would probably expect, they take it to another level. Now, in saying that, what I'm saying is SSO helps us by allowing a safe and secure sign-in to everything that we've got. Like what you were saying, you said, like, you know, I've got a home, and then within the home, I have rooms that I can also lock. And my hope is that nobody's going to get past the front door, but if they do, hopefully they're not going to break in the doors inside. And I think what I heard you correctly anticipate with SSO is that I don't need the keys inside the house, because they're never going to get through the front door, because we've got the SSO, which is a master key, and I'm the only one that got it, and they're never going to get it. So there's nothing they can do. And you're absolutely right. SSO helps us by allowing us with a safe and secure sign-in to everything in our digital world, as Mr. Mufara would say. You know, he said that our whole ecosystem is an abbreviation of the internet. So when he says our digital world, that's what he's talking about, our whole world. And this is the key to it. He also says, though, that what we want to do is to bring our friends in the world value and lift them up. And SSO, in my opinion, is a big part of that. Because as he mentioned the other day, when you talk about saving just a couple of hours for people all over the world, and our market cap is the world population, or will be right now, it's probably 5 billion people. When you multiply 5 billion by 2, that's 10 billion, you know, hours a day. Now, how much time can we put out of that for good causes? Quite a bit. So his whole idea behind the SSO, it's part of the value that he's putting out to the world, is to make it very secure and safe for us so that we can regain our time and regain money, so that we've got a more time that we can do what we want to do, and we've got the money to do what we want to do and then some. But getting back to your question, you know, what is SSO and how does it work? Well, SSO is what they call single sign-on. It's exactly that. It's one sign-on for everything that you are doing online. It's one platform with everything in it, with one piece of information. I mean, there's two parts to that, but it's one piece of information, right? So that we can actually sign on. It's an authentication process. SSO is a verification process. It allows us to securely access multiple applications or systems through one set of credentials, one logon episode or session, if you will. Now, the process of SSO is actually based on trust. And I know that we've talked about that before, because there's three primary constituents of this. You've got the people that hold the identity. That's you and me and, you know, all the founders. If we're talking about unpassive, if we're talking about other people, we're talking about whatever other people log on to whatever the other system. So there's the users, right? We're the identity providers. There's also the people that we trust. And those are the people that they manage the databases that has the information in it. And the third party, or the third constituent to this SSO thing, is the service provider. In our case, that's obviously unpassive. So when we type in our log and information, it goes to the people that we trust, right? And they come back and say, we don't recognize you because you got the wrong information, so we're not giving you access. Or if you got the right information, they come back and go, okay, we now know that you have a legitimate piece of information that would allow you, if you are who you say you are, it would allow you to access. So we know you've got the right information, the right login. Mr. Mufara goes one step further, and I love it, love it, love it. He incorporates a second step to that we all know and love as one-time password, the OTP. So now when the people that we know and trust with our password comes back and says, okay, you gave us the right password, now we're going to make sure it's really you and not your brother trying to log in. So because we know what your email address is, we're going to send you this 6-digit code to your email. Then you go get that 6-digit code out of your email, you put it into the one-time password, and they go, okay, that's the right code. So now, not only do we know you are who you say you are, and we know that you've got the right password, so we're going to let you in to your house, and you can use everything in your house. So that's really kind of how it goes. It gives us the ability to safely and securely log into the apps and resources in a trusted group. For founders, that trusted group right now is co-founders. Once we migrate, when we open up in the data centers and migrate the impassive database, which will be a singular entity, it won't migrate it all over, that trusted group will be on passive. They're going to hold everything that we want to access within on passive. So the purpose is to give us that safe and secure login to those apps. And that's, I mean, in a nutshell, that's what we want, right? We want security and safety. And there's benefits to doing it this way. Obviously, above and beyond being secure and safe, because if you don't trust somebody, it's not good living like that. You want to know that you are safe and that you are secure. So the first thing that it does for us, this SSO, as employees and customers and founders, right? I mean, we probably don't like to memorize 15 different passwords. That's why they come out with password saver. Ooh, let's write them all down in here so I don't have to memorize. We don't want to memorize them, right? We don't want to have to set them all up. We don't have to keep switching them. We don't have to keep resetting them. It takes a lot of time. With single sign-on, it's real easy. You got one password. You got, well, with Ofounders, you've got the sign-on password. That's your single sign-on. But then you've got the added layer of security of OTP. So in effect, you're looking at two pieces of information, which is now multi-factor authentication. And within the one-time password, there's also a time limit in there. So that's another layer of security that you could count on, because if you don't go get that password and come back in 5 minutes, they go, time's up. You've had enough time. So you're trying to figure something out. We don't trust you. We'll send you another one if you want, but you better be a little quicker. So that's just another layer of it, right? But all said and done, you get one-time password that's going into these things, and you don't want to have to spend a lot of time doing this. So that's how it's so easy and saves a lot of time for us. The security obviously is better, right? It significantly decreases password hacks or password related hacks even, right? Because we're only remembering one password, right? We don't have to have a bunch of them, that stops us in the long term from having to rewrite or come up with new ones or reuse old ones, which also makes it more of a security risk for us. If you have a bunch of them, you're liable to be writing them down somewhere. That's another security risk. All this stuff is alleviated with the single sign-on, and so it makes it a lot more secure. It's a lot better for us. With the one, even if you lose or somebody gets a hold of your single sign-on, in other words, your ID and your password, even if they get that, without access to your email, they still will not be able to log in. So that's a very, very, very good thing. So, I mean, like I said, Mr. Movara, he takes it, a whole new level, which is good. Additionally, the benefit to this, and this is particularly good for you or for us as founders, because we are business owners, as we were talking to previous folks, we were saying we're the CEO and the owner of our own business. SSO is going to give us the ability to have a much better customer experience, which brings people back to us. If they feel good while they're there, trust me, they're going to come back. And that's just the way of nature, right? I mean, how could it not? It's been shown, and this is also relevant to what we're doing, because people are going to be able to buy things and sign up for things within your own site. It's been shown that almost 20% of users in a retail environment, in a digital, like if you're going to an online store or something and you have a shopping cart and you got stuff in there, 20% of these people will abandon carts because it's hard. They can't figure their password or reset their password, and they get so frustrated, or it's not worth the effort. And I mean, 20%, that leaves a lot of money on the table. You know what I mean? So when you alleviate these sorts of things where people are constantly having to go into and use other passwords or try to re-sign in once you sign into a main place, when you get rid of all that and make it this easy, then one of the low-hanging fruit from the SSO is going to be customer loyalty, because whatever you're selling, whether it's on Passage products or your own, these folks are coming back. You're going to have higher conversion rates because they like your site, which means they trust that site. And if they trust that site, they're going to be buying more. They've got enhanced visibility and brand visibility. They know you, they trust you, they like you. So guess what? That makes you much more profitable. So that's just another way. There's also increased productivity. By this, I'm talking mostly for employees, that sort of thing where you gotta sign on. The increased productivity, though, however, that comes from how much time we actually spend signing on and managing the passwords we have and having to change them every so often. I know Mike was talking about, hey, change them every 10 days or change them every 30 days or, depending on where you're at, and talking about changes. How about trying to remember how many pastures you've got and which one goes where? For me, that was like, oh, I've got a whole Excel spreadsheet that's got passwords and accounts because I can't remember them all. So SSO allows us to skip all that extra time spent logging in. Additionally, as is the case with OnPassive, the SSO solutions give us access to what we call a doc. OnPassive calls it a dashboard, where it's really easy to see everything you want. It's not a cluster. It's not all jumbled up and it's not very confusing, you know, those sorts of things. And everything that we need is right at our fingertips. You're going to have a waffle up in the corner and you click it and it'll go, and it'll show you all the products and you'll have something down the side. And it's just be really easy and fresh to use. So that's going to increase our efficiency when we're working or playing or whatever we're doing. We're going to have the enjoyment of that experience and it's going to make us more productive. So, and those are just some of them. Now, the big thing for me in trying to tie it all together here is when we consider having a single sign-on that is for one location, and that one location has everything in it, right? Every platform, every product, which by the way includes a massive, and we'll all have this, massive global marketing place, right? That means we can go into here and we can do everything we need to do for our lives, our daily lives. We can do it right from there, right? I mean, everything you need is in there. And once you're in there, you're protected because nobody can get in there and screw with you if they don't have the right credentials to get in. So think about this for a minute. Now, as founders, we have the potential to earn from every transaction that happens anywhere within OnPassive, right? Now, that's huge. Because when you've got a global market and you got people coming into your site using that global market and they buy something from somewhere in that global market, you just got a piece of it. I don't know if a lot of you knew that, but not to mention when you sell products, you're getting residual money from those. When you do anything, anybody does anything from your site, you're getting a piece of it. So that is huge. And when you think about that, we have that potential to earn from anything that happens. And now say, hey, wait a minute, there's a wallet as well. And that wallet is not only in our OnPassive universe, so to speak, but, and here's a disclaimer of sorts or a clarifier. The single sign-on that we're referring to gets you into the OnPassive universe, your OnPassive universe, so to speak, right? It will not allow you access to your wallet. That is another layer of security, which in itself has several layers of security in it. So once you actually log into your universe through the single sign-on, when you want to access your wallet, you're going to have to sign into that wallet individually from within your secure environment. So that is absolutely phenomenal because that way, you're right. You're not going to need any keys to any rooms in there with the exception, and you will have the key to that one room, which is the OnPassive wallet. Now, the beauty of this is once you're in there, you can easily, freely transfer funds from your wallet to any wallet within OnPassive. Any founder that has a wallet, any customer that has a wallet, any reseller that has a wallet within OnPassive, and that's going to be millions, billions, right? You're going to be able to transfer freely. There's no 1% charge or anything like they do. You know, when you buy the founder position for 97, you pay 102 because they charge you $5. Ain't happening. Inside OnPassive, it's free. You can transfer whatever you want. You can also hook it up and transfer. You connect it to your outside financial institution or whatever that you want to do. You can do it that way. Now, the beauty of this is, and I'm going to say this carte blanche kind of globally. I'm not a finance guy. I'm not a tax guy, but it's my understanding that we're all needing to pay taxes on what we earn. But until we move it out of OnPassive, outside of OnPassive, you don't pay taxes on it. Once you move it outside of OnPassive, that's when it's going to generate a tax for you. So as long as it's in there, you're good to go. Once you move it out, you need to pay taxes on it. So all of this stuff works together seamlessly, and the wallet too works together with everything, including the global market and all the products and everything, so that when we're in there, there's no reason for us to do anything else. And the security layers are such that we don't have to worry. We are totally covered. We are absolutely secure and safe in that environment. And if that doesn't make somebody's head kind of explode, then I'm not sure what will. But I'll let it go there, and just I hope that answered the questions for you.
Wow.
Thank
wow,
you
wow,
very
wow.
much.
Dr. Benny,
Thank
did you hear
you.
that?
You
Nadu.
reduce my adrenaline level. I'm at peace. And let me tell you something. If you do not exist, Unpassive will create you with the ultimate artificial intelligence. Thank you very much.
True, Queen Nadu. I agree with you, Queen Nadu.
You know it. Ash has already said the world's going to know your name. They will create you. They will brand you. They will market you. The world is going to know who you are. And I'm talking to every founder on here and every founder in OnPassive. That is not an understatement. That man is true to his word. I'm telling you, it's happening. It's already happening. You ain't seen nothing yet. Get ready to be in the best shape of your lives. I'm serious.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Queen Nadu, are you satisfied?
Oh, more than, are you asking that question?
Just asking. I know
Mrs.
that you are,
Unpassive.
but because I know that he has all the answers. Right? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. I want to really thank each and everyone, but we do have more questions. Samuel, Sunny, can you
Wait,
come?
Dr. Benny,
Yes, please.
please, before we go to Samuel and Sunny, Alexander also has one. Before we go to them, then I'll round it up. I mean, we are so honored to have Mr. Jeffrey with us today, man. I mean, you blew us our mind. Our minds were already blown up, but when you come and you add all of this, you're telling us, oh my. Well, Queen Alexander Foso, please go.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. Thank you, Engineer Mike. Oh, Jeffrey is so much. I don't know what to say. I just say thank you for being here with us. And I have maybe a last question for you. We have been hearing our CEO talking about starting a marketing campaign in India. What does that mean to OnPassive?
Yep, we've been talking about that for a bit. It was waylaid for a little bit. We had some complications that popped up. Obviously, you know that the president he passed away last month in Dubai, and they underwent or have undergone, you know, a 40-day mourning period out of respect. OnPassive it stopped the extravaganza celebrations, you know, on the Burj. We're going to start to resume those in Dubai. The implications for OnPassive on that is going to be world recognition more, and instead of the branding that they've been doing, we'll actually start doing some marketing. And marketing means we're going to go after some product sales and stuff like that, starting there as well. Some of the things that he was talking about happening in India as well, there was a key player in one of the marketing campaigns that was going to happen, where folks are going to be going to different places with you know, signs and billboards and pass out you know, vending, you know, like snacks and drinks and stuff to the customers or people walking past, and they were going to do a lot of that. That had to be what's the word? They had to postpone that and switch some of these marketing things around because they
reschedule.
That's the word. There you go. Reschedule some of that because there was some hardships in a key player's family there. So, but he is moving forward in those campaigns. I know he was talking about having lots of them. He was going to have actual publications, magazines, and articles and stuff in at least 10 of the major publications in India, and they were going to start marketing that way. They were also going to go through some of the top publications rather in 25 of the other cities in India where they were going to be doing campaigning, and even getting on either internet or TV or video, kind of infomercial kind of interview type situations. He was talking about getting those done as well. And we should be going into those in June, halfway through June now. Man, he's got us all, we're all fired up about something he's got planned that's going to supposedly be bigger than what he pulled off in Dubai, but he ain't telling us a lot about it. So, personally, if he shows up in Ireland or Spain or somewhere, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me wherever he shows up. We're already in Singapore, and but he's not really telling us a lot about what that's going to be. He did make mention a while back about Mercedes doing something, the only company in the world that ever did it. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know what that really is. I was curious, and I did a little Googling trying to figure it out, but I came up with nothing. So, but I do know that toward the end of the month, especially once we get into releasing the founder position so that the door shuts, and that is huge. That is absolutely huge. If you think of that like you do with Bitcoin, when Bitcoin reaches, I think 23 million, they're going to stop producing it. You can't mine it anymore. And incidentally, Mike, that's where I got my whole Bitcoin bit from. I got bit by the Bitcoin bug, because I went and I bought some of the hardware, some of the data miners, about almost 40 terahertz worth of mining. And that's, I cut my teeth mining Bitcoin and that sort of thing. So that was years ago. But anyway, I said all that to say this, that we will, once Go Founders is, the door to that is shut, that's just going to solidify the value of that position, because there will never be another founder. What we've got is what we've got in perpetuity for generations. And that's another reason, as we grow and we become this mammoth AI IT company with a heart that we're becoming, our position. Now, this is interesting because Mr. Mufar, and I know I'm getting off track, but you guys love hearing this stuff, and I love putting it out there. So that's a good marriage. Mr. Mufar was talking about some of the numbers when he said, right now we're only like, we got 1 million founders. Okay. At the end of the first year, if we only have, well, I'll back it up and say, with 1 million founders, we are 100% of the founders, 100% of OnPassIt. In 5 years, in 1 year, if we're at 10 million people, 10 million customers, the founders now are only 10% of the company. So the less of us there are, the more value it is. 5 years from now, when we're 5 billion customers, well, I'll say 1 billion, and we've got, say, 2 million founders, then we're at what? 0.001% of the company. I mean, how valuable? There will never be any more founders. And that's why, as we grow and we get more massive and bigger and bigger and bigger, they're going to hear about founders. The new customers coming in are going to go, I remember hearing about founders. What? Wow, there's only 1.5 million founders out of 5 billion. These are the original people. Your name is going to be known. The world's going to know who you are. And it's going to be very, very lucrative for you. So enjoy it. Have a good time with it. And that's all part and parcel with the marketing that we go forward with. So, as we go forward and we lose the founder position, Mr. Mufar is going to tell us more about what is coming on the horizon, what we see or what we know will be coming at us that we can't see right now, because he really can't share it with us for reasons of his own, which I'm behind 100%. I don't need to know. hey, I'm in. That's all I need to know, right? So
Right.
we can have fun with it and just know that the marketing is not going to stop either. So moving into the future, it's just going to get bigger and better and sweeter, kind of like that Hunt's tomato commercial, just this is who we are, this is what we do, and it's going to get bigger and better. They've already got planned stages for marketing coming out the first year. They know the milestones that businesses hit, and they're prepared to have that proverbial injection in the arm, so to speak, as we move out with products coming out and all sorts of phases they've got lined up. So you're in the best position you've ever been in. It's a good time in life. It's a good time to be alive.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Gracias, señor. Let me speak some Spanish.
De nada, mi amigo.
Bueno,
Thank you. Thank you so much. I know we don't have that. Do you have some few minutes to answer these two questions from Samuel and Jim Bell? Is it okay?
If that's directed at me, I'll tell you, I had to beg a lot of forgiveness from Mike, because the other week I totally screwed him up. I had something my wife and I had planned for weeks, a recital for my granddaughter. And he's like, can you show up? I'm like, yeah. And when I told my wife, I was in the doghouse for about 15 minutes. I said, no, we're going to make this right. I am yours for the next 5 hours, if that's what you need, because I need to make it right.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you, sir. Samuel Sani from Nigeria. Are you ready? Come along, please. Unmute yourself, please.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, please.
Okay, evening and morning and afternoon to every part of our people around the world. Greeting to our host, Mr. Engineer Mike Ojongtambia. Then Dr. Benny and every other member of Unpassive. So I appreciate you for the privilege of being able to speak this time. And I want to appreciate our guest speaker, that is in person of Mr. Jeffrey Moloch. And he is my second sponsor. I joined Unpassive last year, and through him, I was privileged to be one of the early founder. And I appreciate you, sir, for that. And hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I just want to be sure that you are hearing me.
Oh, he is hearing you. We are hearing you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Recently I shared a revelation with Mr. Jeffrey Moloch on my own revelation as per Unpassive. It's a company that before I joined, I had some revelation and some understanding through the revelation that the Lord gave me before I knew, and it was in key with the vision, dream, and everything that God proposed for my life. I share with him. So then I don't know. I just want him to see my face because I'm one of his team members, but I'm not sure whether he's able to see it very well now.
Your image is very dark, sir. We can see you that there's a person talking, but we can't see your face because there's no lighting.
Okay, and there is light, but I don't know why it's not showing. I have light here, but maybe because it's already around to 7 now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So My question is this. You know, we're talking about blockchain technology. And when we talk of blockchain technology, I was able to understand or part of a blockchain technology in crypto. That's the place I got to know about the blockchain technology, because I was opportune to join one crypto platform or the other. So, and what I knew about it is that it's being used in crypto. So, but my question is that is the technology of blockchain in non-passive now? Is it going to be on a crypto aspect, or maybe there is other aspects that unpassive intended of using blockchain technology?
Okay, let me answer you, sir. Were you here in the beginning of the presentation?
Actually, I was not around because I prepared for the presentation because I saw it before. But when I came in from the church around the afternoon, I was just
okay. So please, what I'll let you do is to go. I'll send. If you send your number to us, I will send you this presentation. You will go through the entire. It's recorded on YouTube. You will get more information that you don't even need to ask anybody any question. So for the purpose of time, we want to let our leadership council member go to and get some rest. So we have some other person to talk to him. I will send you, or I will send this. I'm sending the copy to the chat of this recording. You will get it there, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jeffrey. I want to appreciate you. You are a great leader, and I want to know you more and more later in the future. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you.
If you check on the chat now, Mr. Samuel, I have the link to this presentation. You will see it from the beginning to the end. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Samuel, for your question. Unfortunately, we couldn't really see your face because I know you wanted Brother Jeffrey to see you. He still loves you anyway. Thank you for coming, Brother Samuel. Brother Jim Bell, come along, please. Sure, I will unmute you. Unmute yourself, sir. Thank you.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
That's good. Okay, I'll make it pretty brief. Okay, Jeffrey, Mr. True Storyteller, I love you. Anyways, I'm going to get back to the branding here. Now, just so that I understood what you were saying about branding. When they're branding us to a person who hasn't got a business, I know on passive not going to be part of our branding. What are we going to be branding if you haven't got a business? You get that, Jeffrey?
Yes, sir. I sure did, Jim. And that's a good question. You know, if I don't have a business, what am I branding? Well, if you don't have a business and you're a founder, you're going to be a reseller. So you're going to be branding, or you're going to be branded as a reseller, and you're going to be selling on passive products. I mean, that's in a nutshell, that's what you're going to be looking at. And believe it or not, when I first got started, and I saw where this was going, I said, I'm going to buy about 10 positions and I'm going to sit on my duff and I'm not going to do a thing. And then I got bit by the bug, and well, the rest is history. But it's a very good question. If you do not have a business, so you're not going to open your own domain and website with your own products or whatever it is that you're doing. Instead, you're going to have an on-passive website, and they're going to be selling for you the on-passive products and marketing on-passive products for you. And so you will be marketed as an on-passive product person, or that's the branding that you're going to end up with. People are going to go to you because they're going to go, oh yeah, I heard about Jim. I heard he's got awesome products, and they're going to go to you to get them.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that is because there's a lot of founders that don't have businesses, and especially in the third world countries, and they would need to know that.
Yeah.
So that's a
Well,
good thing.
Yeah, the whole idea behind branding, which I probably should have stated this before, is that in marketing, the process of branding gives specific meaning to specific organizations or companies or products or services by creating, by shaping the idea of that brand in the consumer's minds. I know that's kind of nebulous, but the whole idea is that when you get branded and people think of you, they don't really think of you. They think of your website and your products. And that's what we mean with branding, if that helps.
Yeah, no, because I had one person ask me a question. But when you actually got a website as part of the branding, what is going to be on your website if OnPassive's not going to be on there unless we're resellers?
Well, yeah, if you don't have, as a founder, I mean, you're going to get commissions on everything that you sell off of the reseller site, obviously. And there's going to be profit sharing.
Cool.
On top of that, that's another whole new.
Yeah, I know I'm going to be branding Canada.
Oh, there you go. That's a good brand.
Yeah, it is. Last question for you, Jeffrey, is it's an easy one. I didn't see a post today for Seaside Chat. Is it on tonight with Kathy?
She and her husband, by the way, he turned 90 last week. It's like, whoa, you're getting up there. You got to love that. But she and her husband were doing some things this weekend. I don't think there is one this evening, simply because she didn't feel like it was necessary to do in light of other things she's got going on. And I didn't think it was trips and kayaking and meeting people in other places and stuff like that. So she just had a bunch of stuff going on and couldn't fit it in. I believe that's the thing.
And the last thing, Jeffrey, swear to keep you here because I know you're busy. I seen a post. It was a date. Was it yesterday or Friday? One of those days. That on June 1st, Ash is going to be announcing when the last founder day will be.
Well, that's close. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, because what we're saying is, and this is for everybody, and let your teams know if they want to know this information, like the rest of us do. Mr. Mufara is going to show up on 360 degrees. Chris and Marty and Red do a 360 every, I think it's Wednesday.
Yep.
Mr. Mufara is going to show up this Wednesday on 360, and he's going to tell us when the founder position is closing. He's supposed to give us a date. So that's going to be huge. So if you want to find out, show up.
And
or check out the recording of it, so.
And I won't know what the date is. None of us will, but I will go back to what I had a conversation with Ash well over a year ago when we were going through the secondary founder thing, when we were doing that thing before all that changed.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked him a question. I said, how much notice will we get that the founder position is closing? And he said, 7 days minimum. So who knows? It could be 7 days from what he says on the first.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
It could be 2 weeks. But I know minimum would be 7 days. That much I do know.
I know that if he's shown us anything, change is inevitable. So
yeah,
I don't even know that it would be 7 days. I'm hoping it's a lot less.
Yeah, no, I because he was relating to the question that I asked him, because that would give founders 7 days notice to get any pending positions on board. That's where the question went. Thanks, Jeffrey. I appreciate listening to you. I know me and you don't get to talk much, but there are times where I've wanted to talk to you. But I always try to catch up to you on a webinar.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Welcome. Oh, founders go. The OnPassive way, built by design. Woohoo!
All right. I believe the time is 1:50, and I would like Brother Jeffrey to say something to all of us, something that he has achieved, anything about OnPassive. But first, I want to take this special moment to really, really thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you. I can see Sister Cynthia, she's excited. You know, I never knew I would see her here, but I am so thrilled. We want you to say something. Sir, thank you.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you very, very much. I appreciate so much that you invited me here and that I've had a ball. I mean, I've just loved this and sharing and just getting to know you folks a bit. I'm so glad. I see a lot of faces that I know too, you know, and this has been a real treat for me. But if I had to say anything, if I wanted to say anything, it was just to lift up OnPassive and say, hey, look, I had a guy the other day. He calls me. This guy's been calling me about once a week for 2 years, and we just talk about stuff. He's not. I mean, he's a founder, but he doesn't do a whole lot. But you know, he's an ear, and I'm an ear, and so we've been talking. And he said, Jeff, I just listened to your last video. I came away, and that last video at the time was the developmental updates one that I did, and it talked about all the things that were going on. He said at the end of that video, I got the distinct feeling that we are on the way and we are rolling right now and things are happening. I said, well, good, because that's exactly right. That is exactly right. We are at a precipice now where we're about ready to come over the crest of that wave and really hit some big things. And so we're really moving. So I would, if you haven't been to onpassive.com, like Mike was saying earlier, go there and check it out. Right? It's a brand new website. It's brand new. Everything's on there. It's fresh and crisp and clean. It's only been up a few days. By the end of the week, this coming week, perhaps, we're going to have another one. Okay. The graphics are fantastic. The layout is spectacular. It's absolutely easy to use and it's beautiful and it's fresh, just like he said, and it's fast. These sites are going to be replicated to all the founders. Like Mike indicated earlier, if you go to I think it's number 52, link number 52. That is your personal link that you can send out to emails, send out to anybody you want. That'll take them to our site. And when they click on become a founder or anything else, it's all related and connected to you. So go there, navigate that, right? Mr. Mufara was talking about now is the time they're going to be ramping up the products and the productions, right? If you go to that new site, you're going to see new icons in there that we haven't seen, new products that are becoming available. Oh Doodle, Oh Booking, Oh My Life. I've never heard of some of these. Oh Host, right? Now the SSO is going to be the same. You're going to have the single sign-on, but when you get in, you're going to have more products. It's going to open up more windows. You're going to have more features, right? But my whole point is hang on because things are really starting to move. In a week, we're going to have another website. It's a brand new one. It'll be linked to you. Sooner or later, we're going to have them every day. We talked about that as well. Next week, we're going to learn when the old founder position is going to close. Not the position, excuse me, the door to it. You're going to be one of an exclusive elite group. To be an OnPassive founder, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Think about that, okay? Things are happening really, really fast. The founder's position's coming to, oh, the blog. Check out the blog. It's brand new as well, and it's going to be changing too. The products we're rolling out, the innovation labs, the data centers, the marketing that's going to be rolling out here in the next few weeks, multiple marketing venues in India and in Dubai. And in June, they've got a massive, massive event, celebration, extravaganza that he's not sharing with us, but we know it's going to be huge. Check these things out. Go in and look at them. jump on the 360 next week. Be a part of that if you can, because that's going to be, that's going to generate some excitement. But what I'm saying is you're part of something that is unique and that is changing the world. And you are an integral part of that as a founder. Own it, take part of it, enjoy it, be active in it, because it's going to change your life and the lives of your children for generations. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the updates. And thank you so much for answering all the questions. And I know that our founders here, they are satisfied. We all love you. And I know that Engineer Michael will bring you again. And one thing I like about you is that you enjoy being with us. I know you love Unpassive, but I love Unpassive more than you.
That's I don't know. That's a pretty high goal.
Thank you. Engineer Michael, are you ready to say something to our brother Jeffrey? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And close
I want to thank him immensely for, coming out here to boost our support, to boost our immune system, to make us more hyper every day. We need people like you. We know we create our hyperness by ourselves, right? We create them by doing the research that we do, and we bring forth these topics to be talking and brainstorming on them. But when we have people like you who increase the hyperness, the excitement goes more and more and more and more. And we're just happy having you, and we want to thank you immensely for taking your time to come to us. All of our leaders, the questions were amazing. I did not know these women, they know how to speak and they have some knowledge about Unpassive, what you people did. It was a great job, team. I just want to thank you people, Cynthia Brown, Auntie Mericaro from PNG, Rona from PNG, Nadi Lawson, Alexandrine Fosso, Dr. Benny, Auntie Mari Pendi, as always, our big bro Roger Wanji, Sister Bridget Kamsi and Sister Jane Kamsi. Those are the regulars, that people. Olga from Belgium. Rona, I can see Rona again. Rona is there. I can see, our brother Mamoudou Jallo logged in. Then Auntie Helen Tala. So many other people that I can, some names, Grace, Mother, they are regular people that used to come here. I did not see, there is some other person, Laure. Then I had the other Onaka from here, my sister from Calgary. So let's go log in to the next webinar, which is Naka them to say hello. Hey, Mr. Jeffrey, thank you very much. And we'll have you again very pretty soon. When things start heating up and when we launch, we'll still keep this platform, because this is where we'll be teaching products to our Unpassivians so that they can know how to market our products to be resellers. So thank you, everybody. Let's make it a happy day. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Benny. Let's unmute and say bye to everybody. Please, bye.
Adios, adios, amigo.
Thank you so much. I want to
Adios.
appreciate
Thank you, Engineer
everyone.
Mike.
Bye for